Hi everyone, welcome to the Great Talk. So I'm Sharon, I'm going to be your host for the next few hours. Please bear with me. But yeah, we all know that in this era, English has been the global language. It has been the language that most people use, most used language. So by that, with that purpose, Great Talk as a collaboration between Regina Paci Senior High School and also ELC, English Learning Center, created this Great Talk that are made to serve various purposes. Like first, giving opportunity for all students to share their ideas, thoughts, and also whether by being creative in constructing their speeches, telling what they want to tell the audiences. But then secondly, the aim for this Great Talk is to build and also strengthen the English environment at school, especially at our beloved school, Regina Paci Senior High School. But then thirdly, and also lastly, the aim of the Great Talk here is to actually start an English tradition in our school, because we know that learning a new language or another foreign language is all about habituation. It needs to be trained. It's not an overnight progress. So for all of the audiences, especially Rachisian who are watching this Great Talk, I'm so happy. You guys might be wondering, right? What is ELC? You guys probably have heard about ELC, but still don't know, have no idea about what ELC is. So basically, ELC is the abbreviation for English Learning Center, where they use native as their teacher to accompany students in learning English. So what are we going to see in this show, right? Guys, you guys might be wondering, you're going to see a 2 hours or probably 3 hours long of video of your friends doing speeches, but you guys don't know what are you going to exactly learn and get from this Great Talk, right? I think that Great Talk is going to be super fun. I guarantee you, because all of our friends have prepared good speeches, good things, ideas that they're going to tell you in this Great Talks about mental health, about the power of science, about the power of everything, even sharing you guys the story of their life. So without any further ado, I'm going to welcome our first performance coming from Carmelia from Social 2.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Carmel and I am an artist. A couple of years ago, that phrase, I am an artist, would have sent me down into a spiral, like a proper full-on crisis. I think that is because I feel undeserving, like it's a high title that I could never achieve. Well, actually, being an artist, there's no requirement. You just have to have the desire and the want to create. Aside from that, you don't even have to be good at it, because being good at it will come as you practice. But of course, it comes from a place of anxiety and insecurity, because every time I open social media, I saw other people who does it so much better than me, so much faster, and they're probably so much younger as well. And that just made me feel so small. But now I'm getting better at acknowledging that everyone's pace and journey is different, and just because mine is slower than others, it doesn't mean that I am less valid as a person nor as an artist. I think my fascination towards art is because of how broad of a term it is. I think it's a huge world behind just the 3 letters. Like, it could mean music, it could mean architecture, literature, painting, drawing, it's a lot of things. And I get bored easily, and also I get burned out. And if that happens, I could just try another things. And even if I end up not liking it, I will still have a new skill up my sleeve. And that's always a good thing. I think a lot of the time, people will tell me to find my passion and to practice it until I perfect my skill, basically. But what's funny is those same people also would told me off by saying that all you do is draw, which feels really condescending and also hypocritical. I ended up hating that sentence growing up, but now I think I don't mind it. I take it as a compliment if anyone said that to me right now, because yes, all I do is draw. I do it basically almost every day, and I'm damn good at it. And actually, a couple of days ago, or maybe weeks, I saw on the news about someone throwing a cake at the Mona Lisa, which, in hindsight, it was a little bit funny, but also it's kind of rude, isn't it? Like, I wouldn't throw a cake at your homework or projects or whatever, because it's just common human decency to not throw cake at things. Cake is meant to be eaten. And that just made me realize how severely underappreciated art and artists are, when it's literally in almost every part of our life. Like my outfit, my clothes. Someone have to design this, someone have to sew it, and that two things are art. I personally am more of a digital artist, and digital artists face this kind of negative feedback where other people just think that since we have a lot of shortcuts, they consider it cheating, which I don't see what's wrong with pressing Ctrl-Z and undoing a brushstroke. Traditional artists have eraser, it's the same thing. And also it's impossible to cheat at art when it's literally one of the most freest thing in the world. Not in the sense that you don't need money, but in the sense that you can do anything, you can make anything. You have your own creative freedom and creative control. And I think that creative freedom is why I love art so much. I'm not good with words. I rarely talk about my interests, but with art, I can use it to send my appreciation to my favorite movie, my favorite characters, my favorite TV shows, and anything. For example, like this pin I made. It's a cover art of my favorite EP, and there's no physical version of it. But now I can just put it in my pocket every day, and I will have it with me. Or this earrings. It's pretty cool because I think normal earrings are boring sometimes, and I can make earrings that are more interesting, in my opinion. So it's pretty neat. And when I say interesting in my opinion, every artist have their own thing, their own art style, their own niche. And as an audience, of course, you also have things that you like and you don't. And what I make might not be pleasing to your eyes. And that's okay, you know? You can not like something, and if you don't like a certain type of art, that's fine. Just move on, don't be mean about it. And if you do like a certain type of art, then don't be hesitant to compliment it. Be more appreciative. Like, works of art deserve to be appreciated. Like all of you watching right now, all of you are works of art and you deserve to be appreciated. And I do appreciate you, especially those of you who have been listening to me this whole time. And that marks the end of my speech. Hello, my name is Kakmel. I am an artist, and thank you for listening to me being an art nerd for like 10 minutes straight.
Thank you so much, Carmel, for the nice speech. But then next, we're going to see two of our friends doing their speeches. Firstly, we have Keisha Mefiana, who are going to tell you how to be wise and why is it important to say wise and good things to people. Then secondly, we also have Audie Bell, who are going to tell you why success is actually a choice and how there will always be a way for you to climb the success ladder.
Hi, I am Keisha Mefiana, and I'm here to say that you guys are amazing. You are strong. You are good enough just the way you are. And I'm proud that you can survive until now, going through many obstacles in this life. That was the example of positive words. And we need that. We need that all the time. We need that when we wake up, we need that when we are trying to achieve something, when we fail, when we succeed in achieving something, when we are sad, when we are tired, and so on. We need that positive words very much. And trust me, positive words can change your whole life. Positive words can change your mindset to be the best version of yourself. To trust yourself that you can do anything if you want it and you try it. I want to tell you about Masaru Emoto. He was a scientist, entrepreneur, and writer from Japan, and he wrote many books about water and its relation to the value of life. So he did some experiments using water. He conducted a series of experiments with water stored in various bottles, and each bottle labeled with different messages. The messages range from positive and caring, such as I love you or thank you, to negative words such as I hate you, I want to kill you. And then, water droplets from these bottles are placed in slices and frozen to form snowflakes like crystals. And the findings were astonishing. Crystals formed by water with positive words turned out to be more geometric, beautiful, and aesthetic, while crystals formed by water with negative words had a chaotic and non-uniform shape. Like, wow, how could that be? And he also experimented with prayerful water and non-prayer water. And the result was that prayerful water formed more beautiful crystals, while water that was not prayed for produced irregular and messy crystal shapes. Now, let's think about our body. We all know that our bodies mostly contain water. The water content in the human body is about 60% to 70% of the human body weight. The point is, if water is given with positive words and it had beautiful crystals, as well as our bodies. If our bodies are given with positive words, then we will become productive, successful, and qualified human beings. And don't forget to pray too, so we will be succeed in achieving whatever we hope for. But if our bodies are given with negative words, then we will find it difficult to achieve our goals and we will fail continuously. One more example, there was also an experiment, but it using rice. So there was a person who did an experiment by filling 2 jars. Each jar filled with rice. He put the 2 jars in different places and he told everyone who passed the first jar to say positive words and loving words. However, he told everyone who passed the second jar to say negative and hateful words. And the result was rice that was given the hateful words rotted faster than rice that was given positive words. That means the words we say will have a huge impact on our lives, for our mood, for our efforts, for our performance, for our success, for our achievements, and so on. That way, we realize that we really need positive words, the words full of love, instead of negative words and some words that full of hate. So, give positive words to yourself and other people. Positive words can change your mindset. You will be able to go through all the obstacles that you face, and you will achieve your goals successfully. And don't forget to appreciate yourself for your achievements, even the small achievements. And also appreciate all the efforts that you have put in. And remember, you have to be careful in speaking. Lest you speak negative words to other people because it will really make them down and feel bad. As I said before, that the words we say will have a huge impact on other people. So we should encourage others and appreciate others with some positive words, such as, you have done a very great job, you are strong, you are genius, you are creative, and many more positive words that you can say to other people. Try it. Give yourself some positive words and don't forget to give some positive words to the people around you. Then feel the benefits. Like today's topic, the great talks. Great talks need great people with great words. That's all from me. Thank you for listening to me.
Greetings everyone, I'm Oribel and I'm from grade 10 MIPA 2. First of all, I want to thank everyone for letting me have this opportunity of sharing. Now let's go into the topic. Don't you think life is difficult? Well, the journey ahead of me is immensely challenging, which fueled my motivation to turn over a new leaf. Well, I am aware of my actions and my limits. But you see, limits does not really exist because a limit can be surpassed to a new limit endlessly. We could always be stronger, we could always be better, and we could also be smarter. We could never know our real maximum potential. I know it sounds hard, but it's not impossible, isn't it? Well, it all depends on your perspective, your mindset. Upon the importance of having a great, fixed, and positive mindset, consistency towards your decisions, your plans, your exploration, and your spiritual desire will also be the key of your guidance. Well, I used to live in the Netherlands for a few years, and my childhood was full of curiosity. Me and my family traveled whole Europe with buses, underground trains, sleep trains, and also taxis. Well, traveling gives me life. By traveling, it gives me creativity. It gives me the feel of freedom. It gives me new knowledge from new people, new culture, and nature. But one of my favorite things to do by going out there is to listen how different people view something in a certain thing and topic. And by it, I could be more open-minded, and it also urges me to go outside my comfort zone. Now let's talk about being successful. What is actually success to your meaning? What is your dictionary on being a successful person? Well, it could be lots of things. It could be having lots of money. It could be being well known. It could be acquiring knowledge as much as possible. It could be feeling free. It could also be able to get anything what you want with no consequences. Well, people may think that being success is like a straight line, but reality is it's not. It's actually full of curls. Or like an iceberg, it looks beautiful at the top, but gigantically dark under the water. Now, could it be choice or could it be fate? Being successful is a choice by a path that you choose. And by it, you'll create your own fate, your own story. Now, we all have a beast inside ourselves. What is it actually? It's your mouth. We talk with it, we chat with it, we decide with it, we criticize with it. Our mouth is responsible to every act, thoughts, and decisions that we make. And it may someday lose control, such as scolding or maybe saying things that you're not supposed to say. Now, my mom never gets tired on lecturing me every single day. She told me that words aren't just words. Words are like prayers. Because why? Because our mouth manipulates our mind to obey or to follow every single word that we say. It's actually incredible how our body is made this way, but it doesn't mean that we should make it for the wrong. So we should stop thinking that we cannot do this. Stop thinking that we're too weak for this or being insecure. Don't you ever feel any sympathy by making yourself like that? Or do you actually wish to stay in that position? You should not give up. You should always try and move on, because there's always brightness after the darkness. Now, beyond having good academic skills, non-academics, having a positive mindset, having good social skills, what else do we need? We also need social skills. Well, why do we live in a world that only provides major things for extrovert people? Don't we introverts and extroverts complement each other? Well, that is correct. But you see, this journey is very long, so there will be a time that you will be on your own, that you will be feeling alone. And there will be some time that you will need someone to give a shoulder on, to rely on. Companions are needed in this world. By it, they can help you move on to a new stamp of time. I used to have a friend in the Netherlands. She was absolutely gorgeous and absolutely elegant. She has a high value a very nice privilege. Well, we lost contact after I came back to Indonesia. After a few years then, I happened to find her social media. Well, of course, I was trying to greet her, but she wasn't the same as I used to know her before. She became from softie to a baddie. So this is just a reminder for all of us to be smart into picking and following a friend. I mean, you can be friends with everyone. It's a must. But we should be smart to be self-conscious, to follow the good influence. Now, our school taught us 5 morals of developing characters. It's having compassion, having humility, having integrity, having peace, and servant leadership. We all should be lucky that we are having a school that provides us every single preparation for our future. We should be thankful and we should be grateful. Our school teaches us to be confident, to have empathy. And that's why we have to be proud to be part of this family. We are Regina Pacis. We are a family. We have strong solidarity. We have all the gains that we have. We always chase every opportunity in front of us and always be ready for every challenges ahead of us. That's why this is a long journey. You should not think that you're a failure. You should not be embarrassed. It's all right. It's part of the human experience. While you're going along this journey, once you till reach its end, you will find out how big your values are. Because there's only one you, one me, one of all of us, all for one and one for all. And because you are the master of your desire, you are the master of your future. And that's why don't ever let people, money, and your past control you. Because you are one of a special one. And there's only one of you in a billion.
Hi everyone, I'm Belly Shaudriana, or you just can call me Abel. I'm here not to give a speech, but I want to sing a song for all of you. Today I want to sing a song. It's called Don't Watch Me Cry by Alexandra Porat. If you guys know this song, you can sing with me. It will be fun. Enjoy, thank you. Oh, it hurts the most, 'cause I don't know the cause. Maybe I shouldn't have cried when you left and told me not to wait. Oh, it kills the most to say that I still care. Now I'm left trying to rewind the time you held and kissed me back. I wonder if you're thinking, is she alright all alone? I wonder if you tried to call but couldn't find your phone. Have I ever crossed your toe because your name all over mine? A moment in time, don't watch me cry. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't escape what couldn't bend. Are you aware when you set me free? All I can do is let my heart bleed. Oh, it's harder when you can't see through the toe. Not that I wanna get in, but I want to see how your minds work. It's harder when they don't know what they've done. Thinking it's better they leave, meaning that I have to move on. I wonder if you're thinking, is she alright all alone? I wonder if you tried to call but couldn't find your phone. have I ever crossed your toe? Because your name all over mine. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't escape what could have been. Are you aware when you set me free? All I can do is let my heart bleed. Thank you.
Back again with me. I assume that you guys really enjoyed all the speeches that have been brought by our friends, right? But don't worry, we still have a lot more to see and listen. Now, we're going to learn what self-love can bring to you, the power of loving yourself. They're going to be brought by Eugenia. And also, you're going to learn the power of science. They're going to be told by Gracio.
Hello everyone, I'm Eugenia Tristana Tania. How are you today? I hope you all feel as amazing as I do right now. Before I start my speech, let me begin with a question. Do you often look in mirror and say, I love myself, I love my body, I love how I look, I love who I am? Well, it's good if you have done that, but some of us still have difficulties to do that, to love ourselves. Why is it so difficult to love ourselves? The short answer to this question is that we were raised in a society that didn't teach us about self-love. So, what did we learn? We learned to put others first. We learned the importance of success. We learned to work hard and make money. But we didn't learn how to keep ourselves feeling full for the journey. Loving yourself is an ongoing journey. Self-love is much more than feeling good or taking time for ourselves. It is a state of appreciation for ourselves. I try to remember that everyone has insecurities. I could look at a person and they could have everything I want, but they still have things they are insecure about. And this is not me being happy that people are not confident, but it's reassuring to know I'm not alone and everyone is also dealing with this. I haven't learned to love myself yet, and the issue about not having self-love is when someone says horrible things to you, you will always listen to them. But then I realized I shouldn't be listening to these horrible things. So then I was like, okay, I don't want to believe these people. I don't want to agree with them, and I want to figure out who I am. At first, loving myself was hard. One step at a time, I pushed back and started to say no to all of the negative voices. One step at a time, I let go of the need to be validated and loved by another person. Then I turned to myself and promised that I would never again be my own enemy. For the first time in my life, I finally stood up for myself and found my happiness. One day you will understand that happiness was always about learning how to live with yourself. That happiness was never in the hands of other people. It's always about you. Imagine living in a world where you love everyone and everything, but not yourself. You constantly put others and their feelings first and put yourself last. At first, this may seem like a sincere thing to do, but after a while, it can begin to backfire on you. Loving and respecting yourself is something so important in living life. If we do not have love and respect for ourselves, how can we expect to have love and respect for others? Having more self-love will make you happier. Think about when you love someone, you truly want them to be happy. If you love yourself, you truly want yourself to be happy. So you will do anything in your power to make yourself happy. So instead of feeling like you are pulled by societal pressures, what your parents will think of you or what your friends will think of you, you do what is the best for yourself because you love yourself. When you truly love yourself, you know that life doesn't have to be a competition. You don't have to be competing with everyone because everyone has their own unique values. Everyone brings something unique to the table. So you stand strong in who you are and you own that. With that, you are confident but also humble because you won't feel the need to have to prove yourself all the time. Most importantly, self-love will set you free. What can hold you back when you are your own best friend, genuinely loving and supporting yourself throughout your entire life journey? Literally nothing and no one can hold you back when you truly love yourself. So you are free to step into your greatness. You are free to be fabulous. You are free to be the light in the world. There are simple steps that you can do to achieve self-love. You can start your day by loving yourself, looking in the mirror and telling yourself something loving. You have the most beautiful eyes. Or how about something positive? You are very creative. Anything that makes you feel great and makes you smile. Next, you can be your own cheerleader. Celebrate all your accomplishment, no matter how big or small. Be proud of yourself. Be the first to congratulate yourself. Then don't forget to forgive yourself. Everyone has done something that has made them feel bad, embarrassed, or ashamed. Once done, it cannot be changed. But it doesn't mean that you have to carry on forever. Be kind to yourself and let it go. It's over. I have seen firsthand how a lack of self-love can derail someone's career and chances for success. Imagine someone who has the potential to be successful, but they have no confidence at themselves, that they even want to try, resulting their potential being wasted. It is as simple as that. With self-love, you accept who you are, flaws and all. Now, I'm still on the path to loving myself, to knowing and living my truth. But I can say it honestly that I love myself now more than ever, and I know I will come to love myself more deeply in the future. What is most important, however, no matter where I'm in the process of self-love, is to remember I am enough. Believe in yourself, love and trust in all that you are to create the life of your dreams. I hope my speech today can help you to realize the importance of self-love and help you to move towards achieving self-love. Thank you.
Hi there. I just want to ask you a quick, simple question, actually. Have you ever wondered just how fascinating that we human beings have become? We went straight from discovering fire to thousands and thousands of years later discovering the full possibilities of our universe. My name is Nathaniel Gracio, and this is The Power of Science. And no, I'm not going to talk about science in a theoretical way or any kind of way that's resembling to our daily learning in school. So you can just sit down and relax, maybe try to grab some coffee or some snacks and enjoy my speech. As you can see here as fellow student in high school, when I talk about science, I think what goes through most people's minds are these concepts and subjects that are incredibly menacing and extremely hard to even get some sense of understanding of what the hell is even going on, right? While I'm not really into that kind of mindset, nor do I agree with it, I think I do understand where they came from. You see humans simply hate what they don't understand, right? And the same goes with science, especially when we know just how science is being taught and approached here by most schools in Indonesia. It's still not that very good. So it's no surprise to say that science is still not that well liked by the majority of people. And of course, to make this speech a lot more personal or a little bit intriguing, I'm not going to complain all the way through this speech. I'm going to add some of my own experience and story that involves science. And it's like a little personal anecdote. You see, when I was 9 or 10 years old, I wasn't really academic. In fact, I really hate science and math. And when I think about it now, was it all because of my lack of talent? my lack of IQ, for example. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to do any of this science and math. Maybe I'm just not made for this. And because of that, I spent the majority of my time being in front of my computer until eventually I found out about this thing. It's called programming or computer science, and I found it really fascinating. It's really interesting, and I feel like it's like the answer to all of my problems, because first, it's really fun, and second of all, it doesn't require any form of social interaction. You know, growing up, I was always the least social person in my family, and I had a hard time forming relationships and making emotional connection with people of my age. And thirdly, because I think programming won't involve any kind of science or math, so maybe I'm just gonna be good. I'm not going to suffer or anything like that. Only to find out later that science or computer science programming was actually a math-based subject. But I simply didn't care. I didn't give a flying damn about it. So what if it's science, if it's math? I found it intriguing, I found it enjoyable, interesting, then I'm going to keep studying it. And I think that was the beginning of my journey to really starting to like science, since it wasn't until high school, freshman year in high school, that I really began developing this sense of understanding and liking towards science more and more. So at that point in my life, I realized that maybe IQ isn't the only thing that matters when it comes to science. And no, I'm not going to talk about IQ, that IQ doesn't matter or anything like that. I think IQ does matter, especially when you know that some of the best scientists in the world are also people who had the highest IQ. But what I'm saying is IQ is not the most important thing, especially when we know just how science is being approached and taught here in Indonesia. Our curiosity is often killed by other people, right? They often say that science and math are these subjects that are incredibly hard, they're not important, they have no practical use in our daily lives, so why bother learning it? Why bother learning calculus or physics, for example? And it doesn't bring you a lot of money, doesn't make you rich, and lastly, it doesn't have a lot of job opportunities. I think those kind of mindsets are what killed our potential future scientists. And to make things worse, sadly, in Indonesia, there are still some schools who taught science and math in a memorization way, not in an understanding way, which is one of the most ironic things that I found about our education system. Since the root of science is understanding, it's not memorization, right? And why is that so, I wonder? Because sadly, I think there are some quote-unquote teachers who are not really into teaching themselves. They are not really into the subjects that they teach. So this endless cycle of low human resource are really hard to break in Indonesia. And because of that, I might be wondering just what can we do about it, right? Since complaining and whining all day won't solve the problem. We have to do something. And the answer to that question, I think, simply don't exist, because there are a lot of variables to take into account. There are cultural differences, other people's thoughts and behaviors, and our overall society education. So I think we can try to reduce the mindset by simply taking a look at ourselves and think that if I were in that position, what would I do? Am I brave enough to take my own decision and think from my own future? Am I brave enough to decide my own life and my own future, since you are the one who's going to live your own life, right? It's not your family, it's not your parents, and it's not your friends. And I think those kind of approach towards science will give a lot more less prejudice towards science, especially by the majority of people here in Indonesia. And to wrap up my speech, I want to say that, you know what, I think a lot of people still wonder just why is science so important? Why do I talk about science all the time? What does science bring to our life? And since, as far as I can know, science has no daily practical use, right? Well, to answer that trivial question, I think is by looking at what science truly is. You know, science teaches us how to think, not what to think. And those kind of thinking will develop our own critical thinking skills, our problem-solving skills, and how to think outside the box. And I'm sure as hell those things will matter in our lives. it will bring a lot of benefits, and you're not going to be easily fooled by other people, and you're not going to make decisions based on your feelings. You're going to be more objective in a general way. And that's why, in conclusion, I think science is really amazing, because not only that it teaches you how to think, but it also can almost explain everything, and when I mean everything, is like everything. It's our human bodies, for example, our behaviors and minds, our surroundings, our planet, and our universe. And that is really what fascinates me. So, in conclusion, thank you for listening. Those are my 2 cents, and I'll see you next time.
Hello everyone, I'm Master Caroline and you can just call me Olin. I'm going to perform you a song called Butterfly Knife by Lelody. Don't mind if you are my secret, my wife. I don't mind if you have the butterfly knife. I don't mind if you want it in one last time, because I'm totally into you. You take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. Every time you take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. I wanna grind if you are my secret midwife. I wanna grind if I gonna exit tonight. I wanna grind if you do me in one last time. You know I'm totally into you. You take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. Every time you take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. If you wanna leave me and you don't need me, just hurry up and burn me. If you wanna leave me and you don't need me, bury me for eternity. You take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. Every time you take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. You take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. Every time you take my breath away. Oh, it's more than words can say. Thank you.
I love to sleep, but then don't worry. In order for you to be able to progress well, you need some rest. So there's no wrong in having a lot of sleep. You're going to see Calvin telling people and telling all of you guys the importance of sleep, but don't worry, we need to do a healthy lifestyle and also a balanced lifestyle, where Bridget is going to tell you the importance of hard work in pursuing every single success and climbing the success ladder.
Hello, good morning to all of you who are watching this video. Before we start, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Bridget, and I'm currently a 10th grader in Regina Pacis Senior High School, Bogor. Today I'm going to use this amazing opportunity to talk about the power of hard work. Now, I am sure that all of you have heard people saying that if you want to achieve something, then you have to simply work hard for it. And I personally think that it's true. So, what is the definition of hard work? Hard work is a great deal of effort or endurance. With hard work, you can achieve your goal in life. Hard work has always been one of the most important keys to be successful in life, because hard work is a key to both success and self-satisfaction. So, the reason why I want to talk about this topic today is because I simply want to remind people that if they want to be successful in life, if they want to achieve their goal, then they have to work hard for it, not by luck or other factors. Luck has always been one of the small factors that leads us to success. There are times when people lose their motivation and they end up with a not so satisfying result. Or maybe even worse, they end up with nothing. There are two types of people during this situation. The first one is the type of people who would give up and do nothing about it. And the second one is the type of people who would get up and try again. They will not lose hope that easily. As a student, I am going to give you a real example that often happens in most schools. So, when a student wants to be successful, when a student wants to be the top in their class, they will do whatever it takes to be in the top. And I'm sure that most of you wants to be the top in your class. So when a student wants to be the top in their class, they will be more active in class, they will do their assigned task, and most importantly, they will try their best to ace their exams. They know that the journey is going to be full with ups and downs, but yet they still push themselves to work hard. And as for the result, they end up being the top in their class. This proves that hard work can help you achieve your goal in life. Now, allow me to tell you my experience of improving my skills in English. So when I was in junior high school, my English used to be really bad. My pronunciation was bad. My grammar was awful. My vocabulary was limited. And that caused me not being free when expressing my emotions. So, one day, when I was talking with someone in English, they told me, "Bridget, what are you talking about? I don't understand anything that you're talking." From that day, I began to do everything I could to improve my English skills. I studied harder, I watched English movies and other stuffs. And look at me now. I got to be on this stage, delivering my speech to you in English. I must say that I am proud of how I have become. I am happy of how far I have improved. And I am really happy to be delivering my speech to you in English like this. Look at those successful people out there. Do you think they can be as successful as they are now just by doing nothing, wasting their time? Do you think they can be as successful as they are now just by waiting for an opportunity to come to them? The answer is obviously no. So I'm telling you, if you want to achieve something, if you want to be successful, then you have to work hard for it. I know that the journey is not going to be as smooth as you thought, but I'm saying that your hard work will never be in vain, and your hard work will soon pay off. That's all that I've got to say today. I hope that my speech today can help you with something, can help you with your struggles. Thank you for listening to me.
Hi everyone. As you can see, I'm so sleepy right now. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about sleeping. But first, I want to ask a question to you. How long do you sleep each day? Usually, for teenagers, it will take 6 hours or less to sleep. But we are not usual teenagers. We are not common. I mean, with a lot of homework, such as like criticize, analyze, we will work harder, and sometimes we do not have the time to sleep. And it's a very dangerous. Maybe if we are an adults, like 25 years older, it's okay if we have a not good sleeping schedule, because they have a big responsibilities on works and others. But we are the teenagers. We are still growing up. And that's why, please have a good sleep schedule. When we are not sleeping, our brain and our heart will overwork. It decreases our immunity, and it will make us have a higher risk to get a disease or sick. So that's why, if we are not having a good sleep schedule, our body will make more weak than the others. So, I'm going to talk about the effects of sleeping to our mental health. When we are not sleeping, as I mentioned before, it will make our brain overwork. And while our brain overworks, sometimes it makes us think something that we are not supposed to be thinking about. It will make us overthinking and make our feelings didn't feel so good. It will destroy your concentration on study, and that's very dangerous. As teenagers, we are having a dream like growing up to be an adult, having a muscular body, glowing up, as you know. But that's just a dream if you doesn't have a good sleep schedule. So please, if you want to be handsome or having a good glowing up, have a good sleep schedule. There is some facts that says it takes about 15 minutes or 10 minutes for you to fall asleep. But that's if there are don't any disturbance. If there's any disturbance like these things, you will not fall asleep in 15 minutes, bro. Trust me. Well, some of you will say, when I'm playing my phones on the bed, in a couple of minutes, I will go to sleep. Yes, you will go to sleep if your contents on the phone are boring. But if the contents on your phone were exciting, you will not sleep, bro. Come on. You're scrolling, oh, this looks so fun. Oh, yes. And then you look at your clock. Damn, it's 3 a.m. So, if you want to have a good sleep, put these things down on the shelf, or maybe you can throw it to the trash can, what do you want. And then you will have such a good sleep. When you have such a good sleep, you will feel that you are like, I'm a great person. I'm having such an upgrade in my life. I will tell you that this is a real story from me. Because before, in this pandemic situation, with a lot of homework, I was overworking to my homework. And I always like, what is this homework? I can do it later. And then I work it on like 8 p.m. And then suddenly I don't realize that after I finish my homework, it's already 2 a.m. And then tomorrow I've got to go to school. And then in the school, The teacher was explaining everything, but I don't recognize anything. I just like sleep and I ruined my life. And this happened in my test. I feel so tremble. I cannot do my exams. Yeah, it's a very dangerous. But after that, I'm trying to rebuild my sleeping schedules. I try to sleeping early and then wake up in the morning, trying to refreshing. And yeah, when I go to school, I feel so handsome, man. That's true. So that's why, guys, please having a good sleep schedule. That's it for me, and thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel or Achel, and today I'm going to sing Every Summertime by Nicki. And if y'all a Marvel fan, you gotta know this song. This is from Shang-Chi. And if you know this song, I want y'all to sing along with me, okay?
Yeah. 18, we were on the grass, stayed out late, never made it to class. Out of Richmond in a taxi cab, you were sweating bullets on the way to my dad's. And oh, you said, baby, think we're moving too fast. And I swear the magnolias flashed a smile, yeah. And that's when I caught me hoping you stay a while. Baby, I gave up anything to travel inside your mind. Baby, I fall in love again come every summertime. My daddy taught me to choose them wisely, but you don't have to try. 'Cause baby, I fall in love every summertime. 25 level missing church, lie about everyone we're hating upward. Dinner with your sister and the joke's gonna hurt. Cry the way home and you put me first. Whoa, yeah, we just always know what to say. Ooh, yeah. We're strolling down the boulevard and dancing on the street lights. Oh, the lights, yeah. Every year we get older and I'm still on your side. Oh, baby, I gave up anything to travel inside your mind. Baby, I fall in love again come every summertime. Daddy taught me to choose them wisely, but you don't have to try. 'Cause baby, I fall in love every summertime. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime with you. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime with you.
Being scared is inevitable. You might be scared of cockroach, you might be scared of everything, but there's always a way to overcome. Let's see how Macy is going to overcome every single fright that she has. Don't worry, Jonathan is also going to tell you the story of his life.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Max Alexander Veronik, and today I would like to tell you more about what is the power of belief. Bravery or courageousness is one of the most important things that we must have in our life. But it is not easy to build that in our life. As a human, of course we have something we're scared for. But to eliminate and create a brave attitude, We can do that by doing many things. First of all, let me explain to you what is brave. Brave or courage is showing mental or moral strength and to face any danger, fears, or difficulty. If you see people that are scared with many things, it doesn't mean they are scared with all of the things in their life. Of course, they have something they brave for, whereas we are scared at that thing. In our life, we need to face so many problems, and because of that, we need to be brave. So, what is the power of brave? Bravery is showing mental or moral strength and followed by our physically. So, let me give you some examples so you can understand it easily. The first one, when you have to get a drink in the middle of the night. So, we need to get up from our bedroom and go to the kitchen and get our drink. Sometimes we might feel there is something or someone following us or looking at us. But when we are checking at it, there's no one and there's nothing. Or the other example is when we have to walking alone in the outside. You know, sometimes it is an easy thing for some people, but for other people, it is a hard thing to do because it will increase their anxiety, fears, or they just think too negatively. It can be happen because of the traumas, phobias, and the other. From a point of view, I have met so many people with different fears or phobias, but they are just scared with one thing, two things, and the other. The example is me and my mom. I'm actually kind of scared with spiders. You guys know spiders, right? I bet one of you will be scared with that animal. It walks so fast, it has so many feet, and the other. But my mom didn't even scared with that animal. With just one click and it will be disappeared. That's the example that everyone have a different fears or phobias. So, what is the purpose of brave that make the power of brave? Bravery has so many purposes, not only to increase our mental strength, but of course increase our confidence too. Confidence was one of the most important things for us, especially for the student. Student must be speak in front of every people and explaining something like doing presentation or the others. Or as a teacher, we need to explain something every day in front of the class. So, what makes people don't want to try something new? Everyone have their own story in their life, right? It can be bad, it can be good, or it can be the worst thing happen in their life. The first one is because their experiences. If something they want to try is connected with their negative experiences, of course, they don't want to try it. But if it's connected with their positive experiences, they want to try it. Or we get affected by people's experiences. If something we want to try have a positive feedback, we are going to try it. But if it's have a negative feedback, we don't want to try it. It's almost the same when we want to buy some clothes in online shop. Usually, we will looking at the feedback first, right? If it's positive, we're gonna buy it, but if it's negative, we don't want to buy it. Or the other things is because the comfort zone. Comfort zone is a place where someone feels safe or at ease and without stress. When we are being comfortable at our comfort zone, we don't want to try something new and we don't want to step out from our comfort zone. And lastly, we are thinking about the long effect for us. It is a common thing for people that have negative things before they want to try something. They always have a long effect that can happen to us when we want to try something, right? It making us slow at making decision, and because the fear that strikes. So, how to build courage in our mind? We can do that by doing many things. First, we can try something new is one of the most important things that we can do to grow bravery in our mind. Or the other things is positive self-talk. Positive self-talk is important for us, especially for people that easily get scared or anxiety and the other. Positive self-talk will calm us down and make our bravery or confidence grow. And lastly, acknowledge your fear. When you know what you're scared for, you will try it again and again, and you will face it again and again. So it can turn out to be your favorite activities. And lastly, let me tell you some of my experiences about me trying to be brave. First one is when I was a child, when I was in kindergarten or elementary school, I always go to school by a car on my side. So my mom or my driver will pick me up. But when I was in junior high school, there's an application called Gojek or Grab. So it will help me when my mom or my driver can't pick me up. And lastly, a big change happened when I was in senior high school. My house is far away in Depok, but I'm here studying in Bogor. So I think there's a big change that I need to take public transportation. From there, I think I'm trying to be brave and step out from my comfort zone. Even though sometimes I'm not always get good experiences, but I think I'm trying to be brave and I can improve myself. Or the other example is when I have to speak in front of many people like now, or speak in front of the class. Sometimes it is a nightmare for some students or some people, but because I always need to speak in front of everyone again and again, and I think it improved myself and it is not too hard to speak in front of everyone again. And there are still so many experiences about me trying to be brave. All in all, I think the key is don't listen to other people things or what people thought if you didn't do something wrong. But listen to their advices that has given to you because it will improve you. Bravery or courageousness is one of the most important thing and the hardest thing to do in our life. But once you try it, it can change all of your thoughts. Let me give you some quotes before I finish my speech. The first one, you can't be brave if you only had wonderful things happen to you. And the second one, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear, by Nelson Mandela. I think that's all I can say for today about the power of brave. Thank you for listening. I'm Max Alexander Veronik, and see you next time.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Jonathan Benedict Play. My student number is 13 and I'm from the class 10 Science 2. Today I'm going to tell you about my speech. Well, I was born in Jakarta at the 6th of March 2006 and shortly after my birth we moved to Bogor. I had an amazing family. I had an amazing dad, an amazing mom. I also have a cute little sister. Well, in my childhood, I had everything. I had happiness, I had support, I had help from my parents, I got friendship as well. Then elementary school came. It started up really well. I got good grades, I started to make friends, I got a lot of respect from everyone. But when I reached 3rd grade, I just felt out of it. I just felt out of my life. I wasn't feeling accepted by my friends. Maybe it's me just feeling it, but that was probably one of my lowest points. I went through, I didn't went through bullying, I just didn't feel right. I didn't feel I belonged there. Well, one of the reasons was probably when people talk in Indonesia, they used gua and lu as I and you. That was like the popular language that everyone spoke. And well, I didn't use that because I was being respectful. I used aku and kamu, which means also I and you. Yeah, maybe that was one of the parts why I felt I didn't get accepted. But from that lowest point, we always need to climb up the stairs once more. So I started climbing back up. My grades were going up again and I was feeling well again. Then junior high came. I had an amazing time with my friends, with my family. I went through a great part of my life. It was a great part of my life. But when it reached the final year of my junior high, it was time to take my test to high school. The first test that I took was Canisius College in Jakarta. I studied really hard to get in that school because it was my dream since I was a little boy in elementary school. But when I took the results from the school, from my email, it just said that I didn't get accepted. That was probably my lowest point in my life because one of my dreams were ruined, even though I worked really hard for it. Then I prayed a lot to God and I started to climb back up because I know after every failure there's always a comeback. So I took another test at my other school that I dreamed of, and it was the school, Regina Pacis High School. When I took the test, I studied really hard as well, and I finally got accepted. I was really happy and my sadness were gone after that I got accepted. So I want to tell everyone here that after every low point in our lives, there will always be a comeback. We will come back always stronger and we will learn from our mistakes. Thank you everyone for listening. That's it for me. Thank you everyone.
Hello everyone, I am Scholastica Virginia Christabel and today I'm going to sing you a song. This is Spirit by Beyonce. I hope this song motivates you to keep going in life. Yeah, and the wind is talking. Yeah, for the very first time. With a melody that pulls you towards it, painting pictures of paradise. Yes, rise up to the light in the sky, yeah. Watch the light lift your heart up, burn your flame through the night, yeah. Spirit, watch the heavens open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling? Yeah, and the water's crashing, trying to keep your head up high while you're trembling. That's when the magic happens and the stars get by your side, saying, rise up to the light in the sky, yeah. Watch the light lift your heart up, burn your flame through the night, yeah. Spirit, watch the heavens open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling? the heavens open. Yeah, Spirit, can you hear it calling? Yeah, Spirit, yeah, watch the heavens open, open. Yeah, Spirit, Spirit, can you hear it calling? Yeah, your destiny is coming close. Stand up and fight. Step into that far off land and be one with the great I am. Thank you.
Please give big applauses for all of the friends that has delivered their speech. Now we're going to see Jadin telling you guys where sky is the limit. Please, nothing can stop you from developing yourself. Then don't worry, we also have Bila. We're going to tell you how to say no. For those of you who like to please people, please take notes about Bila's speech.
Hey guys, I hope you're all feeling wonderful today. I am Michael from 10 Science 1, and I hope your spirits are high because, you know, there isn't much school left to do. This is pretty much the final step before the big 1 month break. So, yeah, I hope you guys are all hyped up and happy here on this day. So, I'm just gonna get down to business. I'm very sure our parents taught us all about character and behavior when we were still really young, and you know that makes good sense. Character and attitude can get you far in life, but there is a small funny short-term benefit. It is image keeping. We all have to do a bit of image keeping, and yeah, I've seen enough social media, sadly, to say this with confidence. And yeah, because when we are little, well, we're not the most controllable people when we are little. So yeah, let's say one of the most annoying things ever is when a child just throws a massive fit out in public, and you know, the parents can't do anything. Onlookers just look at the kid and go, "Oh my God, who raised this kid?" And yeah, under their breath, say under their breath, and yeah, their parents can't do anything to control the F5 hurricane that is their little child. So yeah, let me just go back to the actual long-term benefits. It can get you far in life. Now, to me, getting far in life, one of the signs that you have made it in life is when you have become the best version of yourself. And personally, the best version of yourself is the version of yourself that doesn't only live your life, enjoy your own life, but you also make others' lives meaningful while you are living your life. So yes, your best self is your selfless self, if that makes sense. Let's say, you know, it's your birthday and you want to give your closest friends a treat. So you drive up to their house, pick them up, and, I don't know, have a nice lunch or something, a steak. And after you have lunch, you just explore the city and just have some good memories and have some fun. You know, that's one of the most noblest things to do ever. This is your day, your special day, yet you choose to make it special for your friends too. I mean, yeah, that's just amazing, yeah. Also, about driving, I don't condone undriving driving. I don't do that. I'm not old enough to drive yet. I don't have a license. I'm still 16, so yeah, we can all dream. Anyway, yeah, making others' lives meaningful as well while you're living your own, that's one of the best things to do. And speaking about friends, once you have identified those few friends that you actually like, and you better do all in your power to keep them there. You like them, so, you know, might as well make them lifelong companies. Like, you know, when you are down, you have some friends to help you. And when your friends are down, you can help them. You, like, give back. And, yeah. And, you know, your use of goodwill. Goodwill is just God's greatest gift. And you choose to use your goodwill, free will, to help others. That's amazing. And speaking of free will, well, if this all sounds a bit too familiar from the Netflix series The Good Place, well then, yes, you are correct, I did take some inspiration from that show. Another place I took inspiration from is TED Talks. Usually I am not the biggest fan of TED Talks. I mean, some of them can come across as, well, a bit snobby and condescending. Just my opinion, don't attack me. But yeah, that's just my opinion. While I was searching through the YouTube catalog, I found this person who never failed a test up until high school or college or something outlandish like that, and I just lost interest. Yes, but I then found this woman who was just keeping it real 110%. She, in her TED Talk, TED Talk, well, that's one of the most powerful platforms of speech available on Earth, and yes, this woman just chose to be herself. She talked about how preparing for the TED Talk, she didn't want to mess things up, so yeah, yeah, she had some mild anxiety attacks and all that. She was herself. She was human, and that just gave me some hope. Just any ordinary human could come to a TED Talk and say something meaningful, you know. You don't need to be anyone special or amazing, just be the best you. And you know, you have only one life, and there's only one version of you. And I know that the word everyone is special can also turn back on itself, you know, if everyone's special, no one is. But I don't really have time or the willpower to dwell down that existential crisis rabbit hole. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So basically, what I'm saying is, you need to try to be your best self. Make some friends, make them stay for a long time, bond with them, and just be yourself. That's all my 2 cents I can give, and thank you.
Greetings, my fellow audience. I'm Bila. Today we'll be talking about a topic that some of you here might find it hard to do. The topic is about saying no. To make it easier to understand, let me put you in a situation. So let's imagine that tomorrow you will have a huge exam. This exam is so important to you, so you had to prepare it well. But suddenly, an old friend of yours, a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, suddenly calls you. They ask you if you could meet up. You really miss them, but the timing wasn't right. So what will you do? I see here that there are 2 choices, or 2 options. First of all, you can say no. You can reject them politely and then reschedule the meeting. Or you can say yes. You can go out with them, you can have fun, but then you will have less time to study. So which one will you choose? Most of people find it easy to choose the first option. They find it easy to reject their friend because they know their own priorities. But I know that there are some of you here that still finding it hard to choose the first option. So you go with the second one. Why? What is the reason? The most common reason is that you are afraid of what other people think about you. You're afraid that the friend will get angry or mad at you. But what if I tell you that saying no could prevent you from negative things in your life? Saying no could help you or prevent you from feeling regret and mistreated in the end. I'm not always this brave. I'm not always having this courage to say no. In the past, I usually kept my feelings in a bottle and seek it deep down in my heart. I didn't want other people to know how I feel because I don't want them to feel bad about me. And I hated that feeling. I hated the feeling when people feel sorry to me. But my approach was wrong because in the end, I mistreated myself. Luckily, God sent me such supportive parents. So a shout out to my parents who have been guiding me so well to be who I am today. So Bila, how did you find your courage to say no? Well, the story goes back when I was in elementary. So in the past, my parents loved for me to try new things. They wanted me to explore so that I can find where my passion is in. I've tried different kind of activities before. I've been in taekwondo classes, wushu, marching band, balliness dance, mathematics, English, Mandarin, guitar, vocal, and you can name any activities and I would have probably joined in one of them. Every time my parents offer me a new course, I always say yes. I couldn't say no because I thought that I was obligated to do so. With that many activities, it was hard for me to maintain my friendship. I didn't think I have a friend that stays at least 2 years. Every grade, I always have a new best friend because I was too busy to maintain my relationship. On the other hand, I would feel excessively tired. I felt like I have to succeed or I have to be in the top of the class on every courses that I join in. I wanted to make my parents proud, but my body couldn't keep up, especially in physical courses. So is there anyone of you here watching that like physical exercises or physical training? If you like them, then I couldn't understand you because I didn't like it at all at the time. I still like light physical courses like badminton or basketball, but I hated physical courses where you have to run, jump, sit up, back up just to make your body strong. When I was in 5th grade, I have this course where I have to do physical exercises. And every time I went up to that class, I feel like I'm going to puke. I really wanted to quit, but I didn't have the courage to say to my parents. I was afraid that they will be disappointed in me. I was afraid that they will feel like they have wasted their money for that course for me. But that was where I went wrong. I kept on thinking on how other people would feel and not myself. I completely forgot that the courses was there for me, to help me, not to make me feel miserable. The courses were there to help me find where my passion is in, which is working since now I know that my passion is in music and definitely not in high-intense physical training. So back then, I stayed in the course for a couple of years until my mama realized something was off. One day, she picked me up from one of the courses and took a good look at my face. She saw that I was so drained. She didn't find any excitement left on my face. I have been meaning to tell her the truth, so when she asked me how I genuinely feel about the course, I told her. She was surprised and also confused. She asked me, "Bila, why didn't you reject my offer when you knew from the first place that you wouldn't like this course?" And I told her that I didn't want to make her feel disappointed. And then her response changed my mindset. She told me that it is okay to say no. She told me that it is okay not to succeed in things that she offered because all my parents ever wanted was for me to be happy. Since then, I realized that I keep on saying yes and lose myself in the end. Not only in this type of situation, but also in a lot of things. For an example is procrastination. This is an example where you fail to reject yourself. You fail to reject procrastination until things get a little too hectic. It's okay to have flexibility, but you have to remember your purpose. I want you to know that everyone here holds their own remote control of their life. They can choose the best option for. Don't give the remote control to someone else. If you feel like you're being forced to do something you didn't want to, that means that the remote control is being held by someone else and not you. Of course, there are some times when even when you say no, you still have to do it. For an example, you're sick, and then your parents offered you some medicine. You couldn't say no. That medicine was there for you to be healthy. So what I brought to you today is about saying no to things that affect you negatively in life. I want you to know that no is a full sentence. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel ashamed on saying it because true friends, true people who love you will understand. Ever since I learned how to say no, I've avoided a lot of negative things in my life. And currently, I only join courses that suited my interests. For an example, I only join piano, guitar, vocal, and also English. I chose English because English is important for my future. If I can do it, then why can't you? Remember everyone, that you can just say no. Thank you.
As a member of FRETS, the English Debating Society in Raijina Pacis, I'm really excited to hear Fabian's speech about the power of organization. Now let's welcome Fabian, who is going to talk about the power of organization, and Achal, who's going to talk about the power of mental health.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel, and some of you guys know me as Achel, and I'm here to talk about mental health. So mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities can cope with the normal stresses of life and can work productively and is able to contribute himself or herself in a community. And there is called mental illness that is related with mental health. And the example of mental illness that we know, it can be depression, anxiety, or eating disorders and insecurities. And let me tell you about my experience. So it was around 2019 until 2020 at the beginning of pandemic. And we know we stayed a lot at home, we do social distancing, and we do online classes. And pandemic really changed my life at that time. It was easy for me to feel overwhelmed, anxious, and stressed, and having those thoughts that are really hard to get out of loop once you started. And at that time, every night, I cried over my insecurities and overthinking thoughts. My sleep schedule was ruined, and I often stayed up late. And when I go to bed, it feels like empty. I feel not enough. I feel I am a disappointment at that time. And I was stuck in the same routine. I was stuck in the same daily life, and I was not happy with it. And some people told me that everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be okay, just do harder or think positive. But it didn't make me feel better. It just made me feel worse. So I decided to open myself to one of my relative who understands psychology well. I start to share my thoughts, and from our conversation, I realized that I was not alone. And I was not the only one who felt that. Many people have their own insecurities. And it can be insecure because your sibling's doing better, or your cousin sing better than you, or your friends can dance better than you, and many things can make us feel insecure. And she made me open my eyes and see what becomes my weakness and strength. Sometimes we just focus on our weakness until we don't realize what becomes our potential inside us. And at that time, I tried to overcome it by exploring my potential. I participated to sing for my graduation at that time. And at first, I thought people won't like me. But it turns out they appreciate it. And since that day, since that moment, I see myself in a different way. I feel more confident. And when I am in a better version of myself, I face my life better, and I start to see things in a positive way. And sometimes gloomy and bad days exist. It's always going to be there. And sometimes we have to deal with hard and difficult things and positions that we can understand and we can control. And I want to tell you that mental health is important, and mental illness is not something to ignore. It's a part of becoming a greater, a better, and a stronger version of yourself. No matter what you're going through right now, it doesn't mean it's gonna last forever. Line up those problems and face them. And I know it's going to be hard, but mental illness will always try their best to bring you down, and don't let them bring you down. And I know overcoming your insecurities is not an easy thing to do, and you will fail sometimes. And it's okay, not because you plan to, just simply because you are a human. And failure is a part of creating a great life. Take every day as an opportunity to be better, to have the power of trying something new, to become a better version of yourself, and give yourself a break when you're tired, and appreciate yourself more, and stop beating yourself up. And I know it's not going to be as easy as when you make an instant noodle. Even an instant noodle, you still need a process so you can enjoy your instant noodle. You still need to boil the water, you still have to pour the seasoning, you still have to mix the noodle with the seasonings. And I want to say that you are not alone. You are enough. You are worthy and deserving. And I want to thank you for choosing to stay. Mental health matters.
Hello everyone, my name is Fabian and I am 16 years old now. As a teenager, I have a lot of free time that I can use. And many people say that you have to try and take every chance you have when you are young. Even though I don't really think about it, I actually do it in my life. I try a lot of new things since I was younger until now. And I am really grateful I did that. But there is something that I really grateful I am doing it when I was younger. That is joining an organization. Well, let me share my story first. So I hit puberty when I was 11 years old, younger than any other boys mostly did puberty. And that time, my voice got lower and lower and lower. Of course, I can get used to it at first, and I'm sometimes disturbed by my own voice, and I can control it, I can manage my voice well. And then, it is changed after I joined a community. A little intermezzo before I continue my story. So my family have a strong connection with the church, since we are oftenly do a church activity, and also I have two brothers, and my oldest brother is also a very church boy, and he oftenly do church activity. And he joined a community called OMK, or Orang Muda Katolik, where the young generation of Catholic people together and do activities together, like playing sports, play games, and do choirs at church. And then, when I was 12 years old, I decided to join the same community as my brother, OMK. And there is the first time I feel like I can really use my deep voice. I can do it, I can use it to do choirs as a part of bass. And of course, not only that, this OMK changed me a lot, because from here, I learned how to socialize with people better. I learned how to be in a community. And surprisingly, I've been chosen to be the leader of the community right now. And then, now I am a 10th grader. And in this last 1 year, I tried a lot of new things. But there is one thing that I think this is the biggest thing, the main event of my last 1 year. That is joining RATS, that is English Debate Society. In RATS, I learned a lot of new things. I got a lot of new skills and got a lot of experience. In here, I met a lot of new people. I learned a lot of new perspective, learned how to socialize with people better, knowing what happened in this world, know how to debate, since I don't have any debating skills at all at first. And then I also joined some competitions, and gratefully I won one of the competition lately, thanks to my friends, thanks to my seniors that guide me every time. And then not only just English debate, I also joined the student council and become the vice leader of the event division here. And since it's the most formal organization that I ever joined until now, I feel like surprised, and I am getting a lot of new experience here. I learned how to manage an event well, and that is very helpful for me to maintain my OMK since I'm the leader. And then a lot of people say that I am forcing myself too much. But maybe they are right. Maybe I am forcing myself too much. I sometimes burn out and stress because all of the activity that I need to handle and I need to do in the same time. But I think this is still a great trade-off for me. This organization brings me more good impact rather than the bad impact. And then without joining the organization, I wouldn't be myself right now. I wouldn't be standing here in front of you, talking in front of all of the people here. And then I will be a person that loves to singing. I will be do choirs and a lot of things that I maybe don't do if I don't join the organization back then. And then I have something interesting that I found lately. So I asked my friends, some of my friends, why are you guys not joining any organization? And then they said two things. First, they said they don't want to join the organization because they are afraid they can manage their time better. Well, I think this is something unique because for me, I think time management skills is something that you will get if you are in the middle of something, in the middle of a lot of the activities that you have to handle in the near future. Which means in the organization, when you have a lot of activities, when you have a lot of schedule, you will get the time management skill at the end of the day, right? And then some other people say that they don't want to join an organization because they're afraid they don't have any skills, any basic skill that are related to the organization itself. But look at me right now. I'm the one that joined choir without knowing any singing basic. I joined English Debate Society without knowing what is debate at first. But I'm standing here, I'm survived. And then, so what is the main point that I want to share to you guys? Maybe everyone have their own path. Everyone have their own story in life. And you can compare one to another. Like, me and you are different, you and your friends are different, right? But trust me, there will be a time that makes you feel like you need an extra skills, like public speaking, organization skills, and what else. And all of that can you achieve by joining an organization, right? Like for me, joining an organization is a great investment. In here, you will be guided by your seniors, by your friends, by your coach, and what else. And they will be always ready to help you. So, and lastly, I want to say that prepare yourself. Don't be afraid to join an organization, to join a community, and don't be afraid to try new things because you'll never know that new things will be the new you. That's all from me. Thank you.
To close this talk show, I'm going to welcome our friends who are going to perform some music for us as an entertainment. Here, welcome the music performances. Thank you so much, and I'm signing off. Bye-bye.
Not just me.
Home, but seeing you, picturing where we'd end up to. I'm broke and hopeless too, wondering where we'd end up to. 'Cause I can't keep going on like this, pretending you are gone. As I don't know, 'cause all I know, I've been here waiting you to come and bring me right back home. I'm caught up with these memories just by sitting here alone. If only I could see where it all started, we'll be fine. It's clear where this is going. I'll keep missing you alone. If you could see me crying in my room. Hey, I missed you too. Wondering where
performing a song as a duet.
Yeah, we're gonna sing Lucky by Jason Mraz with Colby Khalid. Hope you enjoy. Do you hear me? I'm talking to you across the water, across the deep blue oceans, under the open skies. Oh my, baby, I'm trying.
But I hear you in my dreams. I feel you whisper across the sea. I keep you with me in my heart. Make it easier when life gets hard.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again.
They don't know how long it takes waiting for a love like this. Every time we say goodbye, I wish we had one more kiss. I'll wait for you, I'll promise you I will.
I'm lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday. And so I'm sailing through the sea to an island where we'll be. You hear the music, feel the air. I pull a flower in your hair.
And though the breezes through the trees move so pretty, you're all I see as the world keeps spinning round. You hold me right here, right now.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
It's called Blessed, and it is sung by Daniel Caesar. And in this song, he talks about love and how he defines it from himself as a person, and how he connects with other people that he met throughout his life. And I hope that if you know the song, you can also sing it along with me.
Everywhere that I go, everywhere that I be, if you are not surrounding me with your energy, I don't wanna be there, don't wanna be anywhere, any place that I can feel you, I just wanna be near you. And yes, I'm a mess, but I'm blessed to be stuck with you. Whoa. Sometimes it gets unhealthy. We can't be by ourselves. We will always need each other. And yes, I'm a mess, but I'm blessed to be stuck with you. I just want you to know that if I could, I swear I'd go back, make everything all better. Whoa. It's the things that you say, it's the things that you pray. Prey on my insecurities. I know you're feeling me. Sometimes I do wrong, but hear the words of this song. When I go, I don't stay gone for long. I know what's going on. And yes, I'm a mess, but I'm blessed to be stuck with you. Oh, sometimes it gets unhealthy. We can't be by ourselves. We will always need each other. And yes, I'm a mess, but I'm blessed to be stuck with you. I just want you to know that if I could, I swear I'd go back, make everything all better. Whoa. And I'm coming back home to you. And I'm coming back home to you. I'm coming back home. I'm coming back home to you. I'm coming back home. I'm coming back home to you. I'm coming back home. I'm coming back home.